Hey guys, this is part 2 of the beta testing instructional video. If you are a beta tester, please make sure you watch part 1 if you haven't already. This information is to supplement that video, it does not replace it. And I will probably make this video public, so if you're not a beta tester, feel free to watch. You might find this information interesting. A little bit of an update. I have shipped one of the beta units so far. I wish I shipped more at this point, but I am going to be shipping a couple more today and more throughout next week as I continue to build these. The one unit that I shipped went to Cody at Red Right Hand. I encourage you to check out his channel. He's been doing an awesome job with the testing. He's got like 1,300 rounds through his unit and has made some really awesome videos of it, so make sure to check that out. So a couple quick updates. In the first video, I talked about how the firing pin has a biasing spring to prevent slam fires and how I don't have those springs in yet. Well, I'm happy to report that Cody has not had any slam fires throughout all of his testing, 1,300 rounds. Still working to get those springs in, and we'll ship them out when they're ready, but I just wanted to give that update. Another thing that Cody noticed and asked me about is you do get a little bit of blowback because there is a opening on the back of the receiver for the gas key to go in, because the gas key is at the 9 o'clock position, and you do get some blowback through there, especially if running suppressed. This hole is actually threaded, and I am planning on making plugs that go in there that close that hole up. It's very similar to, if you guys have seen some of the standard side charging AR-15 uppers, where they have the same hole on the top of the receiver and there's a little plug you just thread into there, and it takes care of that blowback. Lubrication, I wanted to add one note to lubrication. In the previous video, I talked about putting grease on the bolt carrier and the cam pin, and then putting oil on all these small parts inside the top cover. But I failed to mention that you should also put grease inside this cam pin track, as well as the cam pin track here. And you're going to want to add grease maybe every, between 600 and 1,000 rounds, just to keep the thing running nice and smooth. Okay, another thing that I wanted to talk about is Cody's experience testing in full auto. Now, like I said in the previous video, the Lima 6 has a stretched receiver, so you need more space in the buffer tube for that bolt carrier to reciprocate. So I'm including the shorter 2.5 inch long buffers. They're basically AR-10 buffers. That gives you the extra space that you need in there. Unfortunately, Cody discovered that with that setup, you do get a little bit of bolt bounce in full auto, and probably would be experiencing the same thing with an FRT or super safety. That I'm not 100% sure on. So he actually switched his unit to have a longer, what's called an A5 buffer tube, which allows this to work with a standard carbine buffer. So he set it up with the longer A5 tube, a standard H3 buffer, and it ran perfectly in full auto and semi-auto. So unfortunately, I don't have a bunch of A5 tubes, so I'm not able to send them out with the beta units, and I don't want to hold up sending out these beta units anymore. I want to ship them to you guys because, first of all, I know they run perfectly in semi-auto. You might be able to have some success running them with the super safety with the shorter buffer. That I'm not 100% sure. You guys are gonna have to try it. And I figure too, like when I get 8 A5 tubes in, or maybe you guys have A5 tubes, that's a change on the lower receiver, not a change on the actual upper receiver. So there's no reason for me to not send these out yet. But I just wanted to throw that out there, and maybe we will come up with a solution that works with that shorter buffer in full auto. That's part of what we're going to try to discover here in the beta testing. But just wanted to update you on that. Another issue that I discovered is on these M-LOK rails, you can see the gas tube is like right behind these M-LOK slots. This is a big freaking problem. This gas tube gets so hot, even after 20 rounds. If you just grab the rail like this, you will burn your hand. And unfortunately, some of these beta units have these M-LOK rails. The reason for that is because, you know, I probably bought $2,000 worth of rails when I was developing this upper because I wanted to try different things and see what fits. So I have like one of each of a whole bit different variety of rails. So when it came time to build the beta units, I wasn't going to go out and buy like 10, you know, quad rails all the same. I figured why not just use the rails that I have. Unfortunately, at least 3 of them are M-LOK rails. Now on this one, I did come up with kind of a half solution where I just mounted a section of Picatinny rail on there. So it kind of prevents your hand from being able to touch the gas tube. Even if you grab it back here, your hand's not really going to touch that. But I'm still kind of debating on what I'm going to do with these. I could hold them back, order some quad rails, get them swapped out, and then ship them. But again, I don't want to hold up the beta testing any longer than I have to. So I'm considering sending these out as is and just giving you guys a warning to not grab it there. Might want to think about putting on like a vertical foregrip or something like that to keep your hand away from there. But yeah, that's a thing. I just wanted to get in front of it and be upfront about that. And the last thing that I noticed when doing the assembly and a little bit of preliminary testing on the beta units is there's an improvement that I already figured out I'm going to make in production, and that is this spring here is possible to kind of pop out under certain circumstances. If I kind of pull on it, get my Leatherman out here, I'll pull on that spring, it pops out like that. I had this happen once out of all the units that I have, all the testing that I've done, and you know, this spring is actually handmade, and maybe that one spring was a little funky and it popped out once. But what I'm going to do on the production units is there's going to be a little ledge machined in here to capture that spring. So you basically pull around the ledge, pop it in, and then it'll be basically impossible for that spring to come out unless you physically grab it with pliers and yank it out. So if you run into that during beta testing where the spring pops out, just know that I already have a solution to that problem. Anyway, that's it. Again, let me know if you have any questions, and I appreciate everyone's help on this project. Thanks.